We're in Las Vegas, Nevada with another Equine Regen Plus story, and very privileged to have Dr. Charlie Timmerman with us today. Dr. Timmerman, first of all, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yes, I'm a veterinarian from Aiken, South Carolina. I've been practicing like 43 years, and like I said, Aiken is a town which has a lot of horses, and this product sort of piqued my interest a little bit.
Dr. Timmerman, can you tell us what first piqued your interest about the Equine Regen Plus blend?
As we talked about it and read about it, I decided that, hey, it looked to me like if we had a product that could increase competitiveness in the equine world and the canine world, then that would be a great product. And from what all the studies that have been going on around the world, we have seen an increased performance in a lot of these horses.
And when somebody begins the Equine Regen Plus program and they experience, as you say, a more competitiveness, what does that mean? What kind of advantages might they have over other people that they're competing against?
Right. One of the things is increased recovery time. In other words, if you have a racehorse or a polo pony or a steeplechase horse, increased recovery time is probably one of the big things that we're looking at. Horses, any competitive horse that's in a hard charging industry, be it a racehorse, be it a polo pony, be it a 3-day Olympic horse, be it a jumping horse, if these horses can recover quicker, in other words, you race them hard, then they may be able to race again in 5 days versus maybe 10 days or 12 days before being on the product.
What studies are you currently doing to try and explain the differences or these drastic differences that people are seeing?
Right, we had about 24 polo ponies on the product about 2 months ago. Those polo ponies were practicing and playing about 4 days a week. Very, very strenuous exercises, very hot, humid weather. Okay, the horses that were on there played extremely well the entire 2 months that he was there. Normally some of those ponies would get tired, go off their food, lose weight, but these horses did not. They played pretty consistent the whole time.
How many horses have you put on the Equine Regen program in order to draw these conclusions?
We had like 24 polo ponies, and we had 1 barrel racing horse with some tremendous results on the barrel racing horse. This particular horse could only run about 2 races, would have to stop. He couldn't breathe, he was just wore out. After about 10 or 12 days on the product, he could race and never have to stop. The breathing was just about normal.
What's the advantage to having a horse that recovers faster?
Well, the number one thing is winning, okay? Everybody wants to win. And if you've got a horse that can have a competitive edge that you can do legally, then hey, that's the number one thing.
You mentioned that people have told you that their horses are transporting better. Why is that important, and what have they observed?
Well, horses that are taking the product seem to take moving better, because most of these horses travel. They're on a trailer for sometimes 10, 12, 15 hours at a time. And so if you can decrease his stress level, make travel a lot easier, when that horse gets off of that trailer, he's ready to perform quicker than the horse that wouldn't be taking this.
What kind of advantages do you think a competitive horse would have by being on the Equine Regen Plus program versus one that's not?
Well, of course, we mentioned increased recovery time, but some of the benefits we noticed: 1, coat, hair, so much better. Hooves, the feet have been easily repaired from damages. So on a horse, the hoof is probably the most important thing, because if you don't have a good foot, you don't have a good horse. Doesn't matter how much the rest of him is good, if that foot's not there, then and we noticed in the polo ponies, in just a month's time, those hooves had grown approximately 1.5 inches, which is very, very fast.
So this formula is all natural and it passes any of the tests that they might give the competitive horses?
Yeah, that's a good thing, because competitive horses, of course, they blood test them all the time. So this particular product, being an all-natural product, does not test for any of the drugs. We've done 2 tests in Aiken, I know. They've done multiple tests, and all of them are negative.
Can you tell me some of the other advantages that people that have put their horses on the Equine Regen Plus program have mentioned to you?
Right. So we've talked about the recovery time. We've talked about hooves. We've talked about skin and hair coat. But one of the big things is manageability. A lot of the riders are saying these horses seem to be much more in tune to what they're doing. If they're playing polo, they're much more in tune into what's going on. And even just a young horse, we've got 2 young horses on it right now. It's very, very manageable. They noticed in the polo ponies, we had one particular horse that was a non-sweater, and he'd been that way for 2 years. They had to give him medication. On the product, he sweated like a normal horse and never had to give him any medication, which was a great, great thing, especially in that world. Sometimes in the racehorse world, I know they've had some results with bleeders. Bleeding is a pretty rough thing in the racehorse world, so we're conducting some trials to see if we can get some of the same results with decreased bleeding in these horses.
What would you tell somebody who's considering putting their horse on the Equine Regen Plus program and isn't sure if they would see any benefit?
Personally, I believe if they put a horse on this particular, you're going to see results. The horse is going to be healthier. You can almost guarantee he's going to do better. He's going to look better. His feet are going to be better. And that's exactly what we've seen on every horse that's been on this product so far.
Can you tell us some of the other exciting things you're working on regarding the Equine Regen Plus product?
What we're thinking, and the research they did in China on this particular product, showed an increase in the primitive cells of about almost 268%, okay? So what we're doing, we are doing some research now to see if these primitive cells are actually stem cells that are going to increase the healing time, the hoof growth, the general body condition. We know that we've had a horse that was not taking the product and a horse that was. We pulled blood. The horse that was not taking the product had like 4 million circulating cells, okay? We don't know what they are. The horse that had been on the product for a month had 16 million circulating cells. And so if this product will increase those circulating stem cells, then the possibility is endless.